Leo, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan Hill from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Leo love reading. Today we are going to take a look at the status of the love connection between you and your romantic person of interest here in October 2025. So let's get started. Let's get one card for what is the mutual point of interest between Leo and their romantic person of interest in October 2025. Okay. What's going on with you, Leo? It has been a minute. I moved back from Texas back to Ohio about 3 months ago, and then I got incredibly ill. Thought I was going to die for a little bit. I'm back to about like 85% now. I think I lost about 50 pounds or so really fast, which I was not trying to do. I've gained about 15 pounds back so far, so I'm at least on the right track right now. First time I felt well enough to do much of anything at all. So let's get going here with your energy and see what's going on with Leo as it relates to their romantic person of interest and the connection between them in October 2025. Let's get 3 cards. So what's going on with Leo, please? Okay, what do we have here? Come here. All right. What's going on with your person, Leo? What's going on with Leo's romantic person of interest as it relates to Leo and the connection between them in October 2025, please? Let's get 3 cards for what's going on with Leo's person. Okay, what do we have here? Let's get one more. What's going on with Leo's person as it relates to Leo? All right. Well, over here looked pretty okay. Get over here, not quite so much, at least on the surface. So let's take a look here from the bottom of the deck, the overall energy of this reading. Ace of Wands. This is a new beginning in passion and desire, a passionate new beginning. This is also the phallic symbol of the deck, which represents the male you-know-what and using it to do you-know-what and sexual energy and all that fun stuff. This is typically a new beginning in passion and desire. Yeah, right behind that, I have the Empress, which is the mother of the tarot deck. She's always pregnant. She's always giving birth to something. In a love reading, she represents the birth of something new, is usually like the birth of a new connection. So I've got a passionate new beginning, the birth of a new connection. And right behind that, we have the Queen of Swords. This is Libra energy. This is she who knows the truth. This is about speaking the truth on something and then cutting off a thing or a person that isn't in your best interest anymore, something that's not quite serving you anymore. This is about like facing the truth, speaking the truth, and then cutting something away based on that truth. That's the gist of what it looks like this reading is going to talk to me about. We will come back to that as we go along. This mutual point of interest is shared energy that affects both of you in some way here in October 2025, Leo. It doesn't always affect you both the same way. Sometimes this person does this and you feel the consequences, or vice versa. Sometimes they say or do something and it makes you feel or act this way, or vice versa. Sometimes it's legitimately something external that's affecting you both. But that shared energy between the two of you in October 2025 is the moon. This is Pisces energy. This is fear, worry, and anxiety, usually from uncertainty. If you think about when the moon's out, it's dark outside. It's really hard to see the full path in front of you. It's easy to get tripped up and not be sure, is this the right path for me? Am I going in the right direction? Did I make a wrong turn or something? Should I go back the other way? So just like that level of uncertainty can cause fear, worry, and anxiety. The other meaning to the moon is it can represent something being hidden in the dark or some secret being kept. Let's take a look at this here. What is going on with the moon? Why is that the shared energy affecting Leo and their romantic person of interest in October 2025? Okay. Well, this is looking a little peculiar. Underlying this moon energy, I have the 4 of Pentacles. This is Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. Now we're escalating in physical energy from the 4 of Pentacles to the 5 of Pentacles. So we're advancing physically. This is Taurus energy. 5s are conflict or change of some kind. This would represent abandonment. being cast aside, being left out in the cold, being discarded, walked away from. This is a breakup kind of an energy. Sometimes this can be like a devastating financial loss or a devastating physical loss of some sort. But this idea of holding on tightly to it and not wanting to let go comes in front of it. And right behind it, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Now, in terms of zodiac signs, this would represent the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. This represents a change in the luck and fortune. So if things are going great and this card comes out, that's a pretty good sign that the thing is about to take a left turn into the telephone pole unexpectedly. If things are already going bad when this card comes out, that can indicate someone is trying to turn the wheel the other way, correct course, put us back on track, straighten this thing back out. The other thing the Wheel of Fortune can represent is a repeating cycle of something happening again. I have Temperance right behind that. Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of connections already here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but this 5 of Pentacles is in your person's energy. This Temperance card is in your energy. One of the clarifiers I have is in your energy. Temperance is the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. Sometimes this is a card of patience, like not being in a big hurry, being like, it's about at its core like trying to combine these two things together to make something new, but being willing to do it little bits at a time, not dump both buckets together all at once, like doing a little bit at a time and being willing to come back in and make some fine-tuning adjustments to get it just right. This is a card of recalibration. Like when something is really out of whack and it needs recalibrated, rebalanced, this is kind of that energy here. Now, sometimes this can also indicate reconciliation. In tarot, water represents love and emotions, and here the love has been separated into 2 different cups, and this angel is like recombining it back together. So it looks like we have had a breakup. It looks like we have this energy of someone in the connection not wanting to let go of this, even though a breakup has happened. There's been some significant change to the connection. Something is way out of whack, and this looks like an attempt to recalibrate it, or it's in the below the surface energy. So there's some need to recalibrate something here. When I clarify the moon, either fear, worry, and anxiety, or something being hidden from you, some secret being kept, I get the Ace of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles. I got 2 aces here. I've got an ace as the overall energy. Aces are new beginnings. There's something that has potential behind it. But aces are something that you have to grab a hold of and actually do something with them. Otherwise, they just kind of represent empty potential. This Ace of Cups is usually a new beginning in love and emotion. So that can represent a new person showing up, like just like we have here, a passionate new beginning, the birth of something new. This can represent a new love interest showing up. It can sometimes represent wanting to fill this cup back up between the 2 of us. In other words, start back over at the beginning at square one in terms of love and emotions. Maybe some fear, worry, and anxiety about that. Some uncertainty about that. There could also be something being kept secret and hidden from you, which could be a new person showing up. Next, I get the 2 of Swords, which is Libra energy. 2s are always choices or decisions. This card represents a decision that needs to be made, only it hasn't been made yet for some reason. The person on the card is blindfolded, and that blindfold can represent, I don't have enough information available to me in order to make this decision, which is why I haven't made it yet. Could be there's something that I don't know about yet, something I don't see, something that's being kept from me, and that is stopping me from making a decision. More often than not, that blindfold represents blinders that someone is wearing. In other words, there's something here that I don't want to see. There's something I don't want to look at, something I don't want to be true, and avoiding it is preventing me from making a decision that I need to make. That seems like where we're going based on what I'm seeing, especially with this being the underlying energy. This, I want to hold on to it and not let go of it. Final clarifier for the moon is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new physical opportunity presenting itself. It's not an idea or a concept. This is something physical that I can touch. This is the seed of abundance. It's the seed that has the potential to grow into the 10 of Pentacles, like maximum stability, abundance, prosperity. the combining together of two people or two families and all their assets and resources, like combining lives together, building a life together. This is not that in and of itself. It's something that has the potential to get there. But like I said, aces require you to grab them and do something with them. Otherwise, they're just like empty potential. I've got these two new beginnings here. I've got a new beginning in passion and desire, the birth of something new, and someone who knows the truth. And a lot of times this card will indicate that we have a difficult conversation, and after that conversation where truth gets spoken, some severing takes place, some cutting away of something or someone takes place. What's peculiar is the way this is laid out on the table. I've got these two opportunities, and in the middle is a decision that needs to be made, only it's not being made. The word decision, like the Latin word that word comes from, literally means to cut off, as in like to cut off one of these options until there's only one option left, and hence the decision is getting made. Just doesn't look like that's taken place yet. I will freely admit to you, at the early stage of these readings, it's very common that I don't fully understand exactly what this is trying to tell me just yet. So I will come back to this as I go through your energy, Leo, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to you. I'll come back to it again when I go through your person's energy, because then I'll be able to see how it applies to them. But that's the shared energy. Your energy in this connection, Leo, your first card is always the most important. You get that Ace of Pentacles again. Central to your energy is the Page of Wands, and your final card is Temperance, which we just saw a second ago in the underlying energy here. Ace of Pentacles, again, is right out here. New physical, tangible opportunity presenting itself, something that has potential behind it. It's going to require some action, though. Tell me about this Ace of Pentacles. Why is that the first card for Leo in this connection for October 2025? Okay. Clearly, this is an important card. Normally, I get 3 clarifiers. I just got 6. Let's see what we have here. Oh, my. All right. When I clarify, well, I guess we're going to start on the bottom of the deck with what's underlying this new opportunity showing up. The Hanged Man. This is Pisces energy. This is progress being halted. No forward movement is happening. Things are stuck. They're at a dead stop, dead standstill. The Hanged Man is hanging upside down because he's trying to look at things from a different perspective than normal, a different point of view than he would normally look at things from. He's trying to figure out what has me stuck and what do I need to make adjustments to in order to get unstuck so I can move forward. The problem with the Hanged Man is he's looking at things from a different perspective. He's looking at things which are external to him. What out here has me stuck? What out here is the problem? What out here do I need to make adjustments to? So this is usually viewing the problem as external to me, and therefore the solution is also external to me, and I'm not looking inside myself. So sometimes this will be a person who is not looking at their own role in the situation. Sometimes this is someone who is playing the blame game or the helpless victim. It's not my fault that this is stuck. It's this thing's fault, or it's this person's fault, or maybe it's your fault that this is stuck. There's some new opportunity here, but it doesn't look like forward movement is happening. Now, this could just be telling me that the problem is external to you, and maybe it's this person, but it could also be telling me that you're only looking outside yourself right now for an opportunity, when really maybe the actual opportunity is inside you. Yeah, what's right behind this stuck energy is the Ten of Pentacles. I alluded to that when I explained the Ace of Pentacles here in the shared energy, where that has the potential to grow into the Ten of Pentacles. It's not the Ten of Pentacles in and of itself. It has the potential to get there if you grab it and you do something with it and you take the right actions in the right way. But we got something stopping this combining together of lives. This is Virgo energy, maximum stability, abundance, prosperity, combining lives together, building a life together. I get this card a lot for people if they're married or engaged or living together, or at least going down the path towards something like that. But we have something stopping that from happening. And then I have the King of Wands right behind that. This is Leo energy. This is a very bold, passionate, fiery, determined person who knows exactly what they want. They're going to go after what they want. They typically don't take no for an answer. This is not the person who like runs into some minor obstacle and then just throws their hands up and gives up. This is the person who's going to find a way to get what they want, or they're going to make a way to get what they want. Very driven, determined, motivated, ambitious kind of an energy. Now, the Ace of Wands is the overall energy. Like I said, phallic symbol of the deck. This is the pinnacle of that suit. So this is not just someone who's driven and determined in the normal sense. It's also someone who's usually very driven, determined, and motivated by passion, desire, sexual energy, and all that fun stuff. I'm a Leo myself. I get it. I'm Leo, Sun, Venus, and Saturn all in my 9th house. Then we get the 9 of Cups in the background here. This is Pisces energy. This is a step backwards from the 10 of Cups. Now, the 10 of Cups is most people's goal in love and relationships. It's that combined together emotional energy. Happily ever after, happy fairy tale ending, happy fairy tale romance. It's where two people are together and they're pouring themselves into each other equally. This is a step backwards from that. So this is single energy. This is about personal happiness and personal wish fulfillment. In the positive sense, that would mean that you don't need some external person to show up and, quote, make you happy, because that's not even possible. Happiness comes from inside you. Happiness is nothing more than a chemical that you make in your body. And only you can make that chemical. What we typically do is we'll give someone else credit for, quote, making us happy, because we get happy when they're around us, but we're actually making that happiness and attaching it to them and giving them credit. So the positive side of this would be like self-love. I don't need you to make me happy. I don't need you to make me whole because I already am whole. This is about like getting all that stuff from inside yourself, being happy and content in and of yourself. This really should be the goal, not the 10 of Cups. The negative side of this card is it can represent someone who is kind of smug and self-centered, and it's all about me, myself, and I, and my happiness is more important than your happiness. This is about someone probably being driven by passion, desire, and maybe their own personal jollies, their own personal happiness. That could be the thing that has us stuck here. We have an opportunity to get to this 10 of Pentacles eventually if the right actions are taken. Now, when I clarify that opportunity, I get the Hierophant, the 10 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands, and the Lovers. The Hierophant is the Taurus Major Arcana. This is a card of commitment. In a relationship reading, this would be being fully committed to the relationship, trying to take it to the next level, advance that. Like, I get this card a lot for people when they're married, or again when they're going down that path. So I've already gotten 2 references to that kind of a committed relationship. This doesn't necessarily have to mean legally married. It just means like fully committed to this thing that's bigger than me. This opportunity for commitment is here, but there's something in the way of it. Next clarifier is the 10 of Swords, Gemini energy. This is a swift, painful ending. This is sometimes an ending that you don't see coming, which is why the swords are in the person's back. If they saw it coming, they'd be in their front. Sometimes this is an ending in betrayal, hence the swords in the back, getting stabbed in the back. This is a card of like rock bottom, an ending somehow to this commitment. We've got an opportunity. Something's in the way. It looks like an ending has occurred to the commitment. Then I get 9 of Swords, more Gemini energy. We're now going backwards in this mental energy, going backwards to the 9 of Swords, which is fear, worry, and anxiety. There's 2 cards in the deck that reference fear, worry, and anxiety, the Moon and the 9 of Swords. I've got both of them. The Moon is the shared energy affecting you both. Now, this can be from uncertainty, but it can also represent something is hidden from you, some secret is being kept. The 9 of Swords would be thinking about something over and over and over again with all this fear and worry behind your thoughts, and doing that to the point that it starts to become physically stressful. This is a card of mental anguish, sleepless nights. I can't concentrate. I can't eat. And this is not a pleasant energy. Now, the person on the card has their eyes covered because in their mind, this situation is so bad that they don't want to face it. They don't want to look at it. Central card that clarifies this shared energy is a person who's blindfolded. And like I said, more often than not, that blindfold represents blinders that someone has on, where there's something here that I don't want to see, something I don't want to look at, something I don't want to be true regarding these opportunities here, where there's some sort of a decision, but there's definitely something hidden, something that you don't see, potentially something you don't want to see. If I had to guess, I would say that what you don't want to see is that this is over, and I don't want to look at the ending of the commitment. I don't want to look at maybe the betrayal of something that happened. The next clarifier I have is the Seven of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This is a period of time, usually for one of two reasons. The first reason could be this is a period of time where you're pausing to reflect and take stock of this relationship, take stock of this situation you're finding yourself in. It's really about trying to decide, is this ever going to turn into the Ten of Pentacles that I want right here behind this stuck energy? Is this ever going to turn into the thing that I want? Or is this worth like continuing to invest myself in, my time, effort, and energy into it? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not going to pan out the way I want it to, and maybe it's time for me to cut my losses and move on? So this can represent that period of time where that kind of stuff is being contemplated. Probably, if that's the case, there's fear, worry, and anxiety attached to that. Probably a lot of overthinking about that. Probably an element that I don't want to see. The other reason that this can represent a period of time is it can be a period of time where seeds have already been planted on something. And if you think about, like, if you had an apple seed and you go outside and plant the apple seed right now, you're not going to get apples tomorrow morning. It doesn't work that way. There's a big lag time from the time you plant the seed until the tree is fully grown and developed and has fruit on it, and the fruit is ripened, and then you can harvest it and get something out of it. So this can represent that lag time where seeds have been planted on something, but maybe it's not moving the way I feel like it should be moving. I do have the Seed of Abundance here. I've got this Ace of Cups, a new beginning in love and emotions. I've got another ace here, this passionate new beginning. Damn. I'm missing a card to say this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it out here just in case it means anything to you or someone else watching. The Empress is the mother of the deck. She represents the birth of something new. She's literally holding a baby. The phallic symbol of the deck, passionate new beginning, a new vessel to hold some emotions in, a new opportunity, a lag time from when the seed was planted until it can develop and be harvested. There are three cards. Like, some readers will say that the Empress means someone's pregnant. To me, that seems ridiculous. There's only 78 cards in the deck. So that, if I looked at it that way, that would mean there's a 1 in 78 chance that someone's pregnant when this card, like, if I'm doing a reading for someone, like a 1 in 78 chance that you're pregnant, it seems ridiculous to me. Some readers require the Ace of Wands to be with that in order to say someone's pregnant. Typically, I need a page, usually the Page of Cups. I don't have the Page of Cups yet, but your central energy is the Page of Wands. So there is the potential that some pregnancy has happened here. That could be something that's hidden in the dark. This is not something that's going to apply to everyone watching. That I don't know if that's your case or not. I feel like that might be happening for someone, so I'm just tossing it out there. Take that part however it applies to you. The next clarifier for this Ace of Pentacles is the Six of Wands. This is Leo energy of recognition. So this is either you getting recognized for something, like being in the spotlight for something. More often than not, this is you coming to some sort of a recognition yourself, like you recognizing something. And whatever it is you're recognizing, forward movement follows that. There's this lag time and all this worry and anxiety, and now I'm recognizing something. Looks like the thing you're recognizing is the Lovers. This is the Gemini Major Arcana card. Now, this can represent a powerful love connection, at least in terms of how you're viewing it. I know a lot of readers will try to tell you that this means twin flames or soulmates or some bullshit like that, and that's not what this card means. That's not what this card has ever meant. Twin flames didn't even get made up until 1973, 1974. This deck was made in 1908. So in 1908, when this card came out, twin flames wasn't even a thing yet because it didn't get made up for like 60 more years. This card, before it was called the Lovers, used to be called the Choice. And it represents the interconnectedness between people and how one person's choices affect another person. So when you're in a connection with someone, your choices affect them, their choices affect you. This goes as far as all of humanity itself. Like, we can't pollute the environment here in the United States and not affect people in the rest of the world because we're all in it together. So this is the interconnectedness between people. It can represent a choice about this connection. It can even represent a choice between more than one lover. I do have passionate new beginning, birth of something new, and she who knows the truth here, which looking like a recognition is happening, maybe after a period of time of not wanting to see it. I do have new beginning in love and emotions, new physical opportunity. I am clarifying that Ace of Pentacles right now. Physical opportunity presenting itself. And the Moon is here with something being hidden or kept secret. This is not looking good already, I will say. Central to your energy in this connection for October 2025, Leo, is the Page of Wands. Pages are messengers, and this would be news, messages, communications about passion and desire, passionate messages, expressing interest, expressing desire. This is also the minor arcana version of the Fool. It's a way more toned down version of the Fool. Like, the Fool is about just taking this blind leap of faith on something brand new, and it can be like leaping off the cliff without even looking. I don't know how this is going to work or what the end result is going to be. I'm just going to leap off the cliff and I'll worry about it on my way down. Well, this is a more toned down version of that. This is someone who has the willingness to take the first steps down a brand new path towards something there's passion and desire for. Tell me more about this Page of Wands, please. Why is that the central energy for Leo here? Well. Underlying this Page of Wands, Four of Pentacles again. Wasn't that the underlying energy when I clarified this Moon card that was the shared energy? Capricorn energy, holding on tightly to something, not wanting to let go of it. Right behind it, again, Five of Pentacles. So escalating physical energy. This is abandonment, being cast aside, being discarded. This is a breakup energy. So I've got a breakup here, but in front of it, holding on to something that I don't want to let go of. Wow, what are the odds of that? 4, 5, 6 of Pentacles in a row, in order. 6 of Pentacles is also Taurus energy. This is sometimes balance, it's sometimes generosity, sometimes reciprocity, like you scratch my back and I scratch your back and we take care of each other. It can represent equal give and take, can represent balancing a connection back out after there has been an abandonment of it. This is much more feeling like the negative meaning of the card, which can represent the merchant here, probably your person, giving to two people in the physical sense. And notice one of them is kind of tucked away behind his back here. Might be what this Moon card is talking about, of something being hidden in the dark, some secret being kept, about a passionate new beginning and the birth of something new. Now, when I clarify this passionate messages, or at the minimum taking the very first steps down a brand new path toward passion and desire, I get the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, and that Page of Cups that I said I needed in order to even bring up the idea of pregnancy here. Now I have it already. Well, this is interesting. Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. This is usually wife type of an energy. It doesn't necessarily mean like legally married wife, although it can mean that. This can represent fiance, this can represent stable, committed girlfriend, centerpiece of the home and the family, the person that I would be trying to build my life around. This is probably your energy. It's sitting right here beside the Hierophant, another marriage card. Now, the King and the Queen of Pentacles work together as equals to build the Ten of Pentacles that we saw here a little bit ago with the Hanged Man in front of it. Like progress is halted on something. This is starting to look like, if not marriage, like a very committed relationship where some new opportunity presented itself and potentially caused a swift, painful ending that you didn't see coming, ending in betrayal. Next, I have the Three of Wands. This is Aries energy. This is essentially an energy of waiting on something. It's part of the story of manifesting. The 2, 3, and 4 of Wands are the story of manifesting. At the 2 of Wands, the card right before this, you're at this fork in the road. You're at this crossroads in your life or in the relationship. It's a decision point about what do you want your life to be like? What do you want your world to be like? And which of those two paths is going to get me to that? And which path do I have to leave behind? At this stage, this means you've already chosen what you want. You've already chosen the path you believe gets you there. You've already started taking the steps down the path, taking actions to try to create the thing that you want. And it's also about having the positive expectancy that the thing I want is going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. And I'm kind of still waiting on that to materialize. This idea of waiting on wife or waiting to be wife, but then tied to that Three of Wands energy is the Ten of Swords, which is, again, like waiting on a swift ending. Wait, that doesn't make a lot of sense. It looks to me like an ending has happened, and now there's this waiting on something to happen. Maybe waiting to get a communication from this person about what they want, what direction they're going to go in. Final clarifier for Page of Wands is Page of Cups, news, messages, and communications about love and emotions. Lovey-dovey messages, expressing feelings. Sometimes this can represent an apology. This is the lowest form of the Court card, so it's not fully developed emotional energy. So it can represent a person who's not all the way emotionally mature and developed yet. Maybe waiting on that, maybe waiting on an apology to come in, based on some ending in betrayal. But that Page of Cups is sitting right beside the Nine of Swords, which again is fear, worry, and anxiety and stress. I read these in columns and then I connect it in rows as I go. I got 3 cards so far in your energy that have absolutely nothing to connect to it. This idea of a period of time going by where you're probably waiting on something to develop. This idea of recognition and a choice either about your connection or a choice between more than one person. Final card in your energy, Leo, is Temperance, the Sagittarius Major Arcana card. We saw this when I clarified the shared energy. It can be patience. It could be doing things a little bit at a time, trying to make fine-tuning adjustments to get it balanced out so it's just right. This is a recalibration energy. Like I said, at times this can represent reconciliation in the sense of like the love has been separated and I want to recombine it back together. I'm still got this Four of Pentacles staring at me, holding on to it, not wanting to let go of it. Tell me about Temperance, please. Get one more. Thank you. Okay, this way. Thank you. Underlying this Temperance energy, Hanged Man again. Progress is halted. So in terms of, if this is talking about reconciliation, that ain't budging. It ain't moving at all. If this is talking about recalibration, that ain't moving at all. I will say right now that most of the time when I see Temperance in someone's energy, that is them wanting to recalibrate the connection, wanting to rebalance the connection and make adjustments to it to put it back together. that's like, this is full stop. Like, that's not what this is supposed to be about. This is supposed to be about you recalibrating yourself, recalibrating your own emotions, getting yourself evened back out and balanced back out. What's underneath this Hanged Man is Justice, the Libra Major Arcana card. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. The sword in the card is used to cut away something that's not in balance, so balance can be restored, and then the right, fair, just thing can happen. Like, what's supposed to happen can happen. This card shows up when something is either severely out of balance, or it shows up when something unfair and unjust is going on. It would be in the background here. Again, I didn't really mention it again, but sometimes this Hanged Man is someone who's blaming external circumstances for why they're stuck, blaming something else. It's not my fault that this is happening, it's your fault, Leo. Right behind Justice is the Four of Wands. This is more Aries energy. Fours are about stability. So this is stability of the home life, stability of the family life, stability of the connection between the two of you. These Four Wands represent 1111, which is the number of manifesting. This is the part of the story of manifesting. I said of the 2, 3, and 4 of Wands. We're missing the 2. It's probably because the choice wasn't yours, but we've got you waiting on this thing that I expect to happen, and I believe it's going to happen, and it just hasn't yet. This is the stage where the thing a person wants shows up, and it's stable in the physical reality, and I can celebrate its arrival. This is another one of those cards that gets referred to as a marriage card. I've got the Hierophant here. I saw the 10 of Pentacles when I clarified the shared energy. I've got one half of the equation of the King and the Queen that make that 10 of Pentacles, which would be a combined together life. I've got you showing up here. So far, I haven't seen head or tails or head or hide of the King of Pentacles. This is feeling like something unfair and unjust happened during a stage where there was some stability between the two of you, but that is all stopped at this point. When I clarify Temperance, I get the 9 of Cups, the King of Wands, and the 4 of Swords. The 9 of Cups is Pisces energy. Again, singles energy. It's a step backwards from that 10 of Cups that we all want. Personal happiness, personal wish fulfillment. This is saying you got to recalibrate your own emotions. This is about being whole and happy in and of yourself, not requiring another person to do that for you. Again, like, this is recalibrating you. Self-love. This is about patching the holes in your cups, because if you keep filling them up when there's holes in them, you're just going to bleed it out everywhere again. I've got this idea of personal happiness attached to Queen of Pentacles, like wife energy. It's in the same row with Hierophant. Commitment, marriage, taking it to the next level. So it looks like that's probably what your idea of happiness for you was tied to. Where we get into the problem is we get King of Wands here again, which is, like I said, Leo energy. Driven, motivated, determined, not going to take no for an answer. Pinnacle of the Wands suit. Driven, motivated, determined by passion, desire, sexual energy. And with that being tied to this personal happiness and wish fulfillment, that's probably the thing that needs recalibrated on their end. Now, it could also be trying to tell me that you have a lot of passion and desire for them, and you're viewing them as like charming and good looking and charismatic and the person you would want to follow, and your happiness being tied to them. That could be the thing that you need to recalibrate. The other problem that this could be is it could be someone whose own like passion and desire, personal jollies, could be the thing that has this stuck and not moving. That could be what's causing this unfair energy happening in the background, where we've got this stability, but this stuckness and the unfairness is in front of the stability, as in like that's taking precedence over it. Now, attached to this King of King of Wands energy, it's sitting right beside this idea of waiting on this thing that you're expecting to happen. Looks like you're waiting on this person, which would be another thing that you would probably want to at least look at recalibrating, because that's what has you stuck right now. You're stuck in this idea of waiting on this external thing to show up and make you whole and make you happy. This person can't make you happy. No person in the world can make you happy. Only you can make you happy, because you control the chemicals of happiness in your body. It's also in the same row with the Ten of Swords, the swift, painful ending, the ending you don't see coming, the ending in betrayal, tied to this King of Wands, personal jollies type of an energy. Then I get the Four of Swords, Libra energy. This is about taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. It's a 4, so it represents stability. It's a sword, so it represents the mind or the thoughts. So stability of the thoughts, stability of the mind. This is an energy that says, shh, calm your mind down. I get this a lot after I've seen the 8 of Swords or the 9 of Swords. It just so happens that it's in the same row in your energy as the 9 of Swords. This thinking about it over and over with all this fear and worry behind your thoughts. This is telling you to calm your mind down. You're thinking too much. And it's almost impossible to hear your own internal guidance system when there's too much noise, too much thinking chatter in your mind. You can't hear it. A lot of times people will get confused as to, like, what's my intuition versus that fear voice in the back of my mind. This is telling you to calm down. It's right beside this Page of Cups, this communications about love and emotions. I don't know if that happened during a pause in your connection, during like a break in the connection. A lot of times I'll see this when people have broken up, and I have seen that 5 of Pentacles a couple of times already, but they don't want to call it a breakup. There's the blinders here, like this piece that I don't want to see. Even in the same row with it, with that 9 of Swords, the person has their eyes covered. There's some aspect of this they don't want to look at. So this could be viewing it that it's not dead and over with. It's not rock bottom. It's not the end. This is just a break, because my happiness is tied to this. My happiness is tied to the idea of recalibrating it and recombining it back together. Could be the thing that you don't want to see is that this isn't over. It's just a break. That could be like, I got this external focus here, and the thing that's unbalanced is probably the external focus, the thing that's not right, that needs cut away and recalibrated. Again, nothing to connect with this period of time going by, either where you're contemplating, is this ever going to turn into what I really want, or should I cut my losses and move on? Or this is a period of time where we're waiting on something to fully develop and pan out. But then there's this idea of recognizing either a choice about this connection, which would be recognizing that you actually have a choice in this. You're not stuck at this external person's mercy. You can choose to move forward if you want to. You don't have to wait on them. Could also be you recognizing that there is a choice between two different lovers, you and some other person. That's your energy in this connection for October 2025, Leo. Let's get some more room here and take a look at your person's energy, because this is probably where the info you're looking for is going to lie. First card for your person is the most important, Knight of Pentacles. Central to their energy, the Tower, and their final card, 5 of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. It's very slow forward movement, really monotonous energy, really frustrating energy. It's like the slow drip. It's like I want this thing really, really bad, like so bad that I want it yesterday. Only I'm getting the snail's pace here. This would feel like no forward movement is happening. It's really hard to tell the difference between the Knight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man when you're going through it. This would mean no progress is happening, and this would mean that there is some progress. It's just so damn slow you can't see anything happening. Now, the other thing that this can mean is it's a person who knows what they're supposed to do. They just don't do it for some reason. I do have a choice between these two, like between love and this new opportunity, and I'm not making the choice. It could also be a person who knows what they're not supposed to do, but they do it any damn way, which is feeling like what's going on here, because I got that passionate new beginning with the Ace of Wands and the birth of something new right behind it with the Empress. And I've got the Moon here. Something being hidden in the dark, some secret being kept. Tell me about this Knight of Pentacles. Why is that the first card for Leo's person here in October 2025? Okay, they're going to make me dig stuff out here. Notice how that worked for your side, Leo. I shuffled cards, shot out all over the damn place, and there they are. With this person, a couple of them came out, but I had to go in and dig for the rest of it. It's like pulling teeth to get get info out of this person. Okay, you, and you. Got you. Underlying this Knight of Pentacles. King of Swords. This is Aquarius energy. Sometimes it could be considered Gemini energy. Just depends on what side of the fence you fall on. This is the decision-making kind of an energy, the chief decision maker. But it's someone who, when they make their decisions, they are very emotionally detached when they do that. They typically throw the emotions right out the window. This is someone who's not concerned whatsoever with how anyone feels. They're only concerned with the truth and the facts and what can I see, what can I verify, what do I already know to be true, and I'm going to make my decisions based on that and that alone. This can sometimes feel like a person who's emotionally distant or emotionally cold and calculated. Sometimes this person will make decisions in their own best interest. Right behind that, I have the Sun, the Leo Major Arcana card. This is the happiest card in the deck. It's happiness, joy, bliss, harmony. Really hard to get a better card than that. Looking like somebody has thrown emotions and how I feel out the window, and I'm deciding based on just cold logic about what makes me happy. Have Temperance right behind that. Again, Sagittarius Major Arcana card. This can represent patience. This can represent the combining together of these two things to make something new. Can represent reconciliation, recalibration of something here. I feel like I need to go one deeper. Yeah, the recalibration this person is looking for in order to make them happy is the Five of Pentacles. Excuse me. The Lover's card keeps trying to stick to my elbow and jump off on the floor here. Five of Pentacles. It's out here as your person's final card. We've already seen it a couple of times as I clarified the shared energy and your energy. Breakup, abandonment, being cast aside, left out in the cold. Again, doesn't look like a recalibration in the same sense that you're looking for it. This recalibration, like I said, is based on what makes this person happy. And even over here, when I go back to it, the Temperance card, the recalibration here is tied to this person's personal happiness. Just so happens that it looks like you might have your personal happiness tied to them. And that's the thing about the Nine of Cups. Like, this is probably the most important card in your energy. It's about you being fully happy and content in and of yourself. It's not about your happiness being tied to something outside of you. It's about your happiness being inside of you. And it doesn't look like that's how it's lined up in your energy right now. I'm hoping that I'm misunderstanding that, but for whoever's watching this, that I'm nailing that piece dead on the money. That's the piece that you need to recalibrate. When you tie all of your happiness to this external person, they leave and they take your happiness with them. And then what are you supposed to do? Then your happiness is gone. And that gets replaced with fear, worry, and anxiety and stress. And it puts you in the spot where I have to keep the blinders on because my happiness is tied to them and they left. And if they're not going to come back, then I'm never going to be happy again. And I don't want that to be true. So I'm just going to ignore what's here in front of me. I'm going to ignore the facts. And it probably won't help if they're lying to you or keeping something hidden from you or keeping some sort of a secret from you. Which I got new beginnings all over the place here. That seems like the thing that's probably being kept secret, this birthing of a new connection here. Now, at some stage, I feel like you probably found out about it because I do have Queen of Swords here, she who knows the truth. But that could just as easily be that they spoke the truth to you and severed the connection. When I clarify this Knight of Pentacles, slowest knight in the deck, I get the Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune. Change in the luck and fortune. This is the pivotal moment where the wheel spun and this thing hit the telephone pole when you were not expecting that to happen. Can also represent a repeating cycle of something. If this is a person who does stuff that they're not supposed to do and they're aware they're not supposed to do it and they do it anyway, this could be a repeating cycle of that kind of behavior. Or not doing what I know I'm supposed to. Could be both at the same time for all I know. But the next card is the Two of Cups, Cancer energy. This is the minor arcana version of this Lover's card here. It's a more toned down version of it. It's an emotional connection between two people. It's going from this Ace of Cups, this new beginning with potential behind it for happiness, to an actual connection here. It's also a 2, and 2s represent choices or decisions. So this is a choice either about your connection, which would be something that's changing it very dramatically, or this is a choice between more than one person. Next, I have the Queen of Swords, Libra energy, she who knows the truth. We saw this 3 cards deep in the overall energy. This is speaking the truth on something and then cutting off the thing or the person that isn't in their best interest anymore. Final card. This is probably the conversation where we went from having a choice between 2 different people down to having only 1 cup left here, the new opportunity. There was probably some time where they weren't making that choice, probably keeping both of you and keeping it a secret from you is what it looks like. This could be the spot where that ended. That could be the change that took place. Probably took them a minute to get to that spot, which is probably why I'm seeing this delayed period of time where we're waiting on something to pan out here, and then you having the recognition that there's a choice between lovers. That's probably what this is telling me. And your person was probably aware that they shouldn't be doing shit like this, but did it any damn way. The thing that we're having the difficult conversation about is the choice in a connection and this passionate new beginning with the Ace of Wands again. I've got it in both decks here in the first most important column for your person. It's the overall energy, a passionate new beginning with the birth of something new behind it. Central card in your person's energy, Leo, is the Tower. This is a foundation rocking event. This is the collapse of some important structure in your life, in this person's life. This is the game changer. After this moment, nothing is the same after that. Now, a lot of times this will represent the collapse of the relationship itself. It can also represent the collapse of a belief system, like this mental model of the world we've been operating from, where I believed we had this commitment. I believed either we're married or we're going down the path toward the same, and we're fully committed to each other, and like this is the person that makes me happy, and now something has happened to shatter that belief. So let's clarify this Tower. Why is the Tower the central energy for Leo's person of interest here? Underlying the Tower, 4 of Wands. The collapse of the stability of the home life, the family life, collapse of the connection between the two of you. This is the 4 of Wands, 1111, the part of manifesting where the thing they want has appeared in physical reality. It's stable in physical reality. I can celebrate its arrival. But there's some unfair, unjust stuff behind it with justice here. The Libra major arcana, It's about doing the right, fair, just thing, but this card shows up to tell me something unfair and unjust is going on, and that sword is here as the means to correct it. This is pointing out the unfair thing that's happening in the background of this stability. I got the 10 of Cups in the background too. Pisces energy, the happily ever after, happy fairy tale romance card. This isn't what the card is talking about. I know that's what everyone wants to hear, but this is why this card gets more people in trouble than any other card in the deck. It's because we all want this happily ever after thing so bad that it's what leads us to delude ourselves. It's what leads us to put blinders on and refuse to look at the facts that are in front of us. It's what causes us to get stuck in our head in all this fear, worry, and anxiety, where we know something is wrong, but we'll cover our eyes to make sure that we can't see it, because we all want this to be true so bad. And if any of that kind of stuff I'm seeing here is true, if they're keeping secrets from you, if they have a passionate new beginning and have birthed a new connection, and they've got a choice between these two opportunities here, and they're just not making it because, well, I guess they don't really need to at some stage. If any of that shit's true, then this can't be true. And we all want that to be true. So we'll ignore the red flags. We'll sweep shit under the rug and pretend like it's not happening. Because if it's true, this can't be. And I want this to be true. I don't want that other shit to be true. There's some unbalanced thing tied to this idea of the 10 of Cups. And more often than this is almost never talking about true love and happily ever after. I mean, like, zoom out for a second, like detach emotionally from your situation for a second, and let's just back way up and look at this logically for a second. If you really had the 10 of Cups, would you be here watching a tarot love reading? The answer to that is no, you would not. Because if you really had the 10 of Cups, you wouldn't be wondering what the hell's going on. You wouldn't be seeking guidance for your connection. You wouldn't be here because you would have absolutely zero need for what I'm doing, zero use for what I'm doing. More often than not, this represents a person's idealized point of view. In other words, I'm looking at this connection for the way I want it to be instead of the way it actually is. I've got the blinders on. Now, this belief of like the happily ever after, the happy fairy tale love connection that we all want, it's falling in the below the surface energy of the Tower. And I said that can be the collapse of the relationship, but it can also be the collapse of that belief system where it all falls apart. Now, when I clarify the Tower, the first clarifier, 10 of Pentacles, King of Cups, 5 of Swords. The 10 of Pentacles is the combined together life. This is Virgo energy. This is maximum stability, abundance, prosperity, combined together lives, building a life together. I get this card for people when they're married, when they're engaged, when they live together, when they're going down that kind of a path. There is a collapse to this combined together life. I've got 3 cards right here that could indicate, if not marriage, actually I have 4 of them here. The only one I'm missing is King of Pentacles. If this isn't talking about you were married to this person, you were very, very committed to this person. And right beside this 10 of Pentacles, not only is it connected to the Tower, the collapse of it, it's also connected to this Wheel of Fortune, the pivotal moment that changed everything. The change in the luck and fortune of this combined together life. Then I get the King of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, sometimes Pisces energy, again, depending on how you view that. This would be the person that you probably have all this love and emotions for, no different than this is on your side, the King of Wands, is you viewing them as the person you have the passion and the desire for. The King of Cups is a person who probably also has a lot of love and emotions for you, but this is someone who does not wear their heart on their sleeve. They don't publicly broadcast how they feel about things. So you can see he's got a very straight face, no emotions on his face whatsoever, very cool, calm, and collected. The waters around his feet are rough and choppy, which can indicate rough, choppy emotions. So this can be a person who's in love with you and you have no idea because they don't express it. It could also be a person who is in emotional turmoil right now and you have no idea because they don't tell you about that either. Again, the shared energy affecting you both is the moon. Fear, worry, and anxiety, something being hidden, something being kept secret. Could be they're keeping their emotions, their feelings secret. It's sitting right beside the Two of Cups. That's probably why they're keeping emotions secret, because they have another person that they have to choose between. And the final clarifier for the Tower is the Five of Swords, Aquarius energy. Again, fives are conflict. This is many times a betrayal. It can be a big giant fight that ends everything. It can be a person like them who has this winning at all cost mentality and collateral damage is fine with me. This can be about, I'm going to get what I want, period. And if you happen to get hurt during that process, well, sorry about your luck, Leo, because I'm taking care of myself and I'm getting what I want. It's sitting right beside that Queen of Swords, speaking the truth on something, cutting away this thing or this person that isn't in my best interest anymore. And just like on your side, I had 3 cards left over with nothing to connect them to. This lag time where you're waiting on something, and then this recognition about a choice between lovers. On their side, the one card that has nothing to go with it is that Ace of Wands again. So I've got it in both decks. Passionate new beginning. That's connected to a gap in the information, and the only thing tied to that gap is this Five of Swords betrayal energy. This decision that they need to make that at least at this point in time they hadn't made yet. Keeping something secret, keeping these opportunities hidden, and not choosing between them. The final card in your person's energy, Leo, is the Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Again, fives are conflict, change, loss. This is abandonment, being cast aside, being left out in the cold. It's a breakup energy. Tell me about Five of Pentacles. Why is that the final card here for Leo's person of interest in October 2025, please? Let's get one more to clarify this Five of Wands. Underlying that Five of Pentacles energy, abandonment, breakup, I get Justice again, the Libra Major Arcana card. Again, this card shows up to point out the fact that something unfair and unjust and unbalanced is going on, and this points out the need to correct it. Something unfair and unbalanced with the stability of this home life, this family life, this connection between the two of you. Even something unfair and unbalanced tied directly to the thing that they want showing up in the physical world. There's that Ten of Cups again. Man. Okay, I gotta say this too. I got the Ace of Cups in the shared energy. That's part of what this person is hiding and keeping secret and keeping hidden from you. We're going from the Ace of Cups to the Ten of Cups. That is a recipe for disaster. I know I do a lot of personal readings, and I see this happen over and over and over again almost every day. At least several times a week I see this, where a person meets this brand new person, and immediately they're already like visualizing the marriage and the children and like spending the rest of our life together in happiness and bliss. They're trying to jump straight from the 1 straight to the 10. Notice there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 that are supposed to be between here. There is a sequential process that you go through to actually arrive at the real 10 of Cups. And this person mistakenly believes they're going to skip straight from the 1 to the 10. And that is not how it works. It can't work that way. That can't work any more than jumping out the window and flying. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible. And there's probably a piece of that they're not seeing, and definitely a piece of that they're not seeing. There's the blindfold affecting them too. They got this new opportunity, and that's part of what's unbalanced here. Not only are they doing something unfair in this stable connection they had with you, the unbalanced piece for them is they think they're jumping straight into like the happily ever after by breaking up with you and abandoning you. When I clarify that Five of Pentacles, I get the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Star. The Knight of Swords is the fastest moving knight in the deck. This is rushing forward and making this very decisive action on something. Usually something I didn't think through first. This ain't the dude who reads the instruction manual first. This is the dude that just starts mashing buttons and popping pieces together, and before you know it, I've broken the thing and now there's no fixing it. This is someone who rushes off and does something very like spur of the moment, spontaneous, impulsive, reckless kind of an energy. They do something that they didn't think about first, and they don't bother to think about it until after it's already too late. There's the breakup there. There's this idea of combined together life with that, and what's surrounding that combined together life is the spontaneous, impulsive decision making that changes everything. I hate to say it, but sometimes this card gets referred to as the narcissist card. I did see that Hanged Man at the beginning more than once. That would be like, well, it's not my fault this is all going to hell in a handbasket. It's your fault, Leo. It's like that's very narcissistic way of thinking. So could be that. I'm not saying the person is a narcissist. I'm just throwing that out there in case that means anything to you. After this impulsive decision making, we get Nine of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy. It's a step backwards from this 10 of Pentacles. This is single energy. This is being physically single, independent. I don't need you to physically or financially take care of me. I got that. This doesn't even mean someone is single all the time. In fact, I've seen plenty of references to tell me that this person was not single. So in that case, this would be presenting themselves in the physical world as if they're single when they're not. That could be like part of their routine that they're running here. I do have their very first clarifier, clarifying a person who knows what they're not supposed to do and does it anyway, and a repeating cycle of that kind of behavior. Potentially even a repeating cycle of a choice between more than one person, and then cutting someone off for the new person. I don't know if this is the first time this person has, it might not be the first time they've done something like this to you. Even if it is, it's probably not the first time they've engaged in that kind of behavior themselves, period. It might have happened somewhere else, and maybe they didn't tell you that. Maybe they kept that hidden. Maybe that's a piece of what you didn't see, is that they're always presented with these two options. Like they've got the one they already have, and then the new bright shiny thing shows up that they feel like they have to go running off and chasing down, and acting single when I'm not, keeping my emotions hidden about that. And like acting single when you're not is exactly how you end up in this Two of Cups, the piece of it where it represents a choice between two different people. It's also how you wind up in a betrayal type of a situation that brings the Tower down. The final clarifier for this Five of Pentacles and their energy, Leo, is the Star. This is the Aquarius Major Arcana card. This is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's sometimes a card of wish fulfillment. It's also the card that comes after the Tower in the sequence of the cards. So you don't make it to the Star energy until the Tower collapses. And it's like the destruction of the old and the hope about the new. It's a very peculiar thing to see someone hoping to be single. It's also a very peculiar thing to see hope tied to the idea of betrayal and the idea of speaking the truth and cutting something off. And again, in their energy, there's this one card that has nothing to connect to it. The Ace of Wands, this passionate new beginning and passion and desire, sexual energy, and all that good stuff. I got two gaps in the information connected to betrayal and hope on their end. On your end over here, we're ending up with this idea of a pause, and probably waiting on them to communicate their emotions, or waiting on them to apologize to you. There's this idea of I got the idea of waiting on this person and your energy, two different directions here. The idea of your happiness being tied to them. Also, I'm waiting on something that's dead to not be dead anymore. Like, there's 10 swords in this dude. He is not going to go to the hospital and get a couple of stitches and be back to work just fine tomorrow. He's deader than a doornail. So waiting on something that's dead, it's not going to do anything. Like, it's dead. It can't do anything. The commitment is dead. The new opportunity is what killed the commitment. And there's this aspect of it here of you having the blinders on and you having your eyes covered, because I mean, clearly I wouldn't want that either if I were in your shoes. So it's this idea of like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at that. I don't want that to be true. And then there's this waiting on forward movement with the love connection between the two of you, waiting on the choice about the connection. But then there's also probably this recognition of a choice between lovers. I got the aces all over the place, the new beginnings all over the place, the birth of something new, and then she who knows the truth. I know this probably felt really not like good news, not like probably not what you wanted to hear, but it's not my job to figure out what people want to hear and then try to blow smoke up their ass and tell them that their fantasy is going to come true. There's way too many readers on YouTube that do that to people right now, where they twist all the cards around to try to force fit it into this all, rainbows and unicorn farts, happy love story thing. And that's not helping anyone heal. It's not. It's keeping them stuck on something that's dead. And in order to heal for real, it requires grief. It requires acceptance that it's dead so you can grieve it and move on and heal yourself. And this final card is not just about a pause or a break. It's about choosing to go inside yourself, to do some thinking about the facts and the truth, and to do some healing. This recalibration here is not a recalibration of the connection. It's a recalibration of you and your own ability to be happy and whole and content in and of yourself.